My boss said, "Why won't you look at me?" And I felt something break inside my chest. Because the truth, the real truth, was that I'd been in love with Elena Reynolds for 3 months and looking at her hurt more than anything I'd felt since my marriage ended 2 years ago. I'm Connor Hayes, 34 years old, and I've spent the last 3 months lying to myself. Lying that I could work 20 feet away from the woman I'm falling for and just keep it professional. Lying that avoiding her eyes would somehow make the feelings go away. Lying that I could sit in meetings with her and not imagine what it would feel like to hold her hand, to kiss her, to wake up beside her, to not be alone anymore. But Elena Reynolds isn't just any woman. She's my boss. She's the 36-year-old vice president who could end my career with one conversation with HR. She's the widow who still wears her wedding ring on a chain around her neck 5 years after her husband died. She's the woman who stays late at the office because going home to an empty house is harder than working. She's lonely in a way that mirrors my own loneliness, and that's what terrifies me most, that I see myself in her, that I recognize the same ache, the same emptiness, the same desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, we're not done feeling things. We're standing in her office on a Friday evening. Everyone else has gone home. The sun is setting through her windows, painting everything in gold and amber, and she's looking at me with eyes that are asking a question I don't know how to answer without destroying both our lives. "Connor." Her voice broke on my name, and I heard it, the hurt underneath the authority. 3 months. For 3 months, you've been avoiding looking at me. You used to smile when we talked. You used to stop by my office just to say good morning. You used to make me feel like... She stopped, swallowed hard. Like I wasn't invisible. Like I mattered as more than just someone who signs off on projects and runs meetings. And then one day, you stopped looking, stopped smiling, stopped seeing me, and I need to know why. I need to know what I did wrong. My throat closed up, because she thought she did something wrong. This woman who'd been nothing but kind to me, who remembered that my sister had surgery and asked how she was doing, who brought me coffee during late nights working on client pitches, who laughed at my terrible jokes and made me feel less alone in a building full of people. She thought she'd failed somehow. "You didn't do anything wrong," I said, and my voice came out raw, broken. "Elena, you didn't..." "Then look at me." She took a step closer, and I could see tears gathering in her eyes. "Look at me and tell me the truth, because I've been going home every night for 3 months wondering if I said something, did something, crossed some line I didn't know existed, wondering if you're uncomfortable having a female boss, or if you think I'm incompetent, or if..." Her voice cracked. "If you can barely stand being in the same room with me." I forced myself to meet her eyes, and God, it was like drowning and breathing for the first time all at once. Those green eyes that had haunted my dreams, those eyes that held the same loneliness I saw in my own mirror every morning, those eyes that were looking at me now with vulnerability I'd never seen her show anyone. "I can't look at you," I said, and watched a tear slip down her cheek. "Because when I do, I forget you're my boss." She went completely still. The tear hung on her jaw like the world had frozen. "When I look at you," I continued, and now I was the one with tears burning behind my eyes, "I don't see my superior. I don't see the VP who controls my career. I don't see the professional woman in the tailored suits who runs this department like she was born for it. I see the woman who stays late on Thursdays, because that was the night you and your husband used to have. Date night and going home early still hurts. I see the woman who brings in homemade cookies on people's birthdays because you remember everyone's. I see the woman who cried in the parking lot last month when the song that played at your wedding came on the radio. Yes, I saw that, and I wanted to hold you so badly it physically hurt not to." Elena's hand went to her mouth. Fresh tears streamed down her face. "I see the woman I'm falling in love with," I said, and my voice broke completely. "And I forget that I'm not allowed to. Forget that loving you could cost me my job. Forget that you're my boss and I'm your employee, and there are rules and policies and 100 reasons why what I feel is wrong. When I look at you, all I see is the woman who makes me feel alive again after 2 years of feeling nothing. The woman who makes me want to risk everything. The woman I'd choose, even if it meant losing this career I've spent 6 years building. The silence that followed felt sacred, heavy with everything we'd both been carrying alone. "Connor?" Her voice came out as barely a whisper. "I know you're still wearing Marcus's ring," I said gently, seeing her hand move to the chain at her throat. "I know you loved him. I know 5 years probably isn't enough time to stop loving someone you were supposed to spend your life with. I know you think you had your one great love, and lightning doesn't strike twice. But Elena," I took a step closer, close enough to see the exact shade of green in her tear-filled eyes. "What if you're wrong? What if we're both wrong about being done with love?" She made a sound that was half sob, half breath. "You don't understand what you're asking. Then tell me. Help me understand." "I'm 36 years old, Connor. I'm a widow. I haven't been on a date in 5 years because the thought of replacing Marcus makes me feel like I'm betraying everything we were. I go home every night to a house that's too big and too quiet, and I tell myself it's fine. That being alone is safer than risking my heart again. That work is enough. That I don't need—" Her voice broke. "That I don't need to feel wanted or desired or loved because I already had that once, and most people never even get it once." "And what if you could have it again?" I asked quietly. "What if you're not replacing Marcus? What if you're just choosing to live again?" "With you," she laughed, but it sounded broken. "With my employee? With a man who could lose everything if we're caught? With someone who's 2 years younger than a woman whose career could be destroyed by scandal? You don't know what you're risking." "I'm risking a job," I said. "You're risking a heart that's already been shattered once. I know which one is braver." Elena closed her eyes. More tears fell. "I can't do this to you. Can't let you throw away your career for what? For a broken widow who's terrified of feeling anything? For a woman who might wake up tomorrow and panic and break your heart because she's too scared to try." "You're not broken," I said, and now I was crying too. "You're surviving. And I don't want you to try anything tomorrow. I just want you to tell me the truth right now, in this moment. Do you feel it too?" Her eyes opened, met mine, held. "Yes," she whispered, and the word destroyed us both. "God help me. Yes, I feel it too." My heart stopped, started again, beat so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. "How long?" I asked. 3 months, she admitted. "That night we worked late on the Morrison pitch, when we ordered Thai food and you made me laugh until I cried, when I looked up and saw you watching me, and for the first time in 5 years I felt—" Her voice caught. "I felt wanted. I felt seen. I felt like maybe I wasn't just Marcus's widow or the VP or the woman who's married to her work. I felt like Elena, just Elena, and it terrified me." "So you pulled back too," I said, understanding flooding through me. "I had to." Fresh tears spilled over. "Because you're my employee, Connor. Because I'm your boss. Because if I let myself feel this, if I let myself want you the way I want you, everything falls apart. Your career, my reputation, the respect I've fought so hard to earn in this company. We'd lose everything. Or we'd gain everything," I said quietly. Before she could respond, before she could talk herself out of what we both knew was happening, my phone buzzed in my pocket. Then hers rang on her desk. Both at once. We both froze. Elena walked to her desk, picked up her phone, and her face went pale. "It's Jenna, your friend from project management." My stomach dropped. I pulled up my phone. Text from Jenna. "We need to talk, now. About you and Elena, about what people are saying. Call me." Elena called Jenna back on speaker, put the phone on her desk between us. My friend's voice filled the office, tight with urgency. "Elena, I'm sorry to call after hours, but this can't wait until Monday." Jenna's words came fast, nervous. "People are talking about you and Connor, about the way you two have been acting around each other." My blood ran cold. "What are people saying?" Elena's voice stayed steady, professional, even though I could see her hands shaking. "That something's going on between you. That Connor can't look at you in meetings. That you get flustered when he's around. That the tension is so obvious it's uncomfortable." Jenna paused. "Look, I'm telling you this as a friend, not as gossip. HR got an anonymous complaint this afternoon. Someone reported a potential inappropriate relationship between a VP and her direct report." Elena sank into her desk chair. I grabbed the edge of her desk to steady myself. "We haven't done anything," I said, and technically it was true. We'd just confessed feelings 5 minutes ago. Nothing's happened. I believe you, Jenna said. But Connor, it doesn't matter. Perception is reality in corporate America. If people think something's happening, if HR is investigating, the damage is already done. They're going to interview people on Monday, ask questions, and if they find even a hint of impropriety, they'll fire me, I finished. They'll transfer one of you at minimum, Jenna corrected. More likely, Connor, you'll be let go. You're the subordinate. You're expendable. Elena has too much value to the company, but her reputation will be destroyed. Elena's face had gone white. She reached for the wedding ring at her throat, clutching it like a lifeline. Thank you for the warning, Elena said quietly. We'll handle it. She hung up. The silence in the office felt suffocating. This is my fault, I said. I should have kept my mouth shut, should have kept avoiding you, should have... Don't. Elena stood up, wiped her tears. And when she looked at me, I saw something I'd never seen before. Not the boss, not the widow, not the scared woman. I saw steel, determination. Don't apologize for telling the truth. Don't apologize for making me feel alive for the first time in 5 years. Elena, you could lose everything. I already lost everything when Marcus died. Her voice was fierce now, strong. I lost my husband, my future, my dreams of children and growing old together. I built this career from the ashes of that loss, made VP because work was the only thing that didn't hurt. And you know what I realized just now, listening to Jenna? I shook my head, unable to speak. I'm tired of being safe, tired of choosing survival over living, tired of going home to that empty house and pretending it's enough. She walked around her desk, stood in front of me. So here's what's going to happen. Monday morning, I'm going to HR myself. I'm going to disclose that we have feelings for each other. I'm going to request a transfer to a different department so we're not in a reporting relationship anymore. You'd do that? Give up your position? I'd do more than that. She reached up, touched my face, and I leaned into her hand like a man starving for touch. I'd risk it all. For you. For us. For the chance to stop being afraid. My heart felt like it might explode. Elena. The office door opened. We both jumped apart. A man stood in the doorway. Late 50s, expensive suit, cold eyes, Robert Barrett, the CEO, the owner of Barrett and Associates. Ms. Reynolds, he said, looking between us. Mr. Hayes, I think we need to talk. Robert Barrett stepped into Elena's office and closed the door behind him. My career flashed before my eyes. 6 years of work, gone, because I fell in love with my boss. Mr. Barrett, Elena started, her voice steady despite the tears still on her cheeks. I can explain. My wife died 7 years ago, Barrett said, cutting her off. His voice was quiet, sad. Cancer. We had 32 years together, and when she died, I buried myself in this company, worked 18-hour days, slept in my office, told myself that loving her once was enough for a lifetime. We stood frozen, confused. Where was this going? 2 years ago, I met someone, Barrett continued, a woman who made me laugh, who challenged me, who made me feel something other than grief for the first time in 5 years. You know what I did? He looked at Elena. I pushed her away, told myself I was too old, that it was inappropriate, that it would complicate things. He walked to the window, looked out at the darkening sky. She moved to Boston last month, married someone else, someone brave enough to choose her. Barrett turned back to face us. I came back tonight because I forgot my phone, heard voices in your office, heard you two talking through the door, heard you, Ms. Reynolds, say you were tired of being safe. Elena's hand found mine, squeezed tight. I got the HR complaint this afternoon, Barrett said. I know what people are saying, and I know what the policy requires. So here's what's going to happen. He looked at me. Mr. Hayes, effective immediately, you're being promoted to Director of Strategic Planning. New department, new reporting structure. You'll report directly to me instead of Ms. Reynolds. My jaw dropped. It's a lateral move salary-wise until your next review, but it removes the conflict of interest. Barrett smiled. Unless you have objections? No, sir, I managed. No objections. Good. He looked at Elena. Ms. Reynolds, I expect you to disclose this relationship to HR on Monday morning. Do it by the book. No secrets, no hiding. If you two are going to do this, do it right. Yes, sir, Elena whispered. Barrett walked to the door, paused. Don't waste time like I did. Don't let fear rob you of years you could have together. Life's too short. Love's too rare. He left. Closed. The door. Left us standing there in stunned silence. Elena turned to me. Did that just happen? I think our CEO just gave us permission to fall in love. She laughed, cried, pulled me close and kissed me, finally kissed me, and it felt like everything I'd been afraid to hope for, like coming home, like choosing life over fear. 6 months later, Elena and I were engaged. A year after that, married in the same office where we'd confessed our feelings. Small ceremony, close friends. Robert Barrett walked Elena down the aisle because her father had passed years before. Jenna was maid of honor. The same people who'd gossiped about us cried watching us say our vows. We learned that love doesn't have a timeline, that choosing happiness isn't betraying the past, that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is look someone in the eye and tell them the truth, that forgetting someone's your boss might be exactly what you need to remember they're human. My boss asked why I wouldn't look at her. I told her it was because when I did, I forgot she was my boss. And that honesty, that vulnerability, that willingness to risk everything, it gave us everything. Have you ever been afraid to tell someone how you feel because of what you might lose? Have you ever let fear stop you from choosing love? Have you ever wondered if you're brave enough to risk your career, your reputation, your safety for the possibility of real connection? Drop your story in the comments below. And listen, my friends told me I'd never hit 1,000 subscribers. They said nobody cares about these stories. They called my dreams scum. But I believe in you. I believe this community is better than that. So if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love is worth the risk, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Prove them wrong. Show them that stories about choosing love over fear matter. Show them that we're building something real here. Because everyone deserves to know that sometimes the scariest thing you can do is also the most beautiful thing you'll ever do.